Welcome, welcome. Hi, Victoria.
Hi, this is awesome. How are
Yeah,
you?
I'm good, good. And we are kind of throwing this in here. One of our speakers was not able to make it today, so we are subbing in. There's a live interview
Yes.
Q&A here. Victoria is going to lead us in. If you have questions for me, anything about the holidays or walking with Jesus or whatever might apply to your holiday season, just go ahead and type them into the chat right now so that we can make sure to address your questions as we go. So Victoria, bombs away, my dear.
Yes, wow. This is fun because I actually get to be on the reverse end of it with you this time, Marnie, because
Right, I'm always interviewing.
usually you're the one asking me questions.
Absolutely.
But since I don't have as many holiday strategies as I know you do, I thought it would be fun to ask you. And I will be watching the comments too to see if we have any questions coming in. Marnie, this year is different for me. I am an empty nester at the holidays for the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that. So I know you've been there. What was your experience like? I know you had all your holiday traditions, and then how did that carry out once you had no children there on Christmas morning?
Right, right. So our experience was that we would travel almost every Christmas to the in-laws or to my parents' home. And so when we had empty nest, we still did the same thing there. But there were holiday traditions that we did at home that had to change. And what I did, especially those first few years, is I really tried to pay attention to what my heart had been longing to do. So one of the things my heart had been longing to do was have a beautiful Christmas tree. And I had a children's memory tree forever. And the ornaments on the tree were gifts that I'd received from people or things my children had made. And so it was a hodgepodge, you know. And so the first year they were gone, we actually bought a second tree and put it in a different space in the house and had it be beautiful with just poinsettias and red bows and gold ornaments and just something that I had dreamt of for a long time. So I think that would be my main encouragement to you is really just sit down with Jesus and say, you know, we've been doing this kid thing for all these years, you know, 20, usually 20 some years, right? Sometimes 30 years. And then now all of a sudden they're not here. So what is it that I could do with you, Jesus, that would make us just delight in the holiday season? And you're going to be able to find some things that'll truly delight you.
Yeah. We did the same thing. We had the kid tree with all the ornaments, toilet paper rolls, and all the homemade.
That's right.
And I did do that actually,
which is fun.
Yeah, I had my daughter come over and she helped me decorate. And I did have it's funny you said poinsettia, so I had that, but I did like a themed colored tree. But I did still keep the small one, and we put it down.
Me too.
So that was great.
Love that.
You know, I heard the part where you said what your heart wanted to do. So when my kids were little, this was one thing I didn't think of this until we were just talking now, but when my kids were little, I wanted to teach them the idea of giving more than receiving. And so what I did was I put together a drawing, and then the whole family had to draw names, and whoever's name you got, I gave the kids money to go shopping for that person.
Sure.
And then we also did homemade gifts. So that person was tasked to find out more about their sibling or their parent, you know, what they would like. And when the kids decided they didn't want to do that anymore, when they were out on their own and we just had a couple more, it was like, oh, that's my heart. But also I had to realize they had families starting of their own and their own traditions. But I know that can be a challenge sometimes when we want to, our hearts want to keep the traditions going, but they've got their own traditions they want to make.
Yeah, and I think the thing is to invite them into the process of making those new traditions. So one of the things we do now is we have a girls' day sometime after Christmas, during that week between Christmas and New Year's Day, where my sisters and our nieces and daughters and granddaughters come together to make, we do these little, they're on crackers, but then you have these cookie cutters basically, and you make little sandwiches, beautiful little pedophore things. And it's really fun for the little ones. And it's just fun for all of us to just get together and make something artistic. So you'll make new traditions. that you love. Just give yourself a breathe in that first couple of years. Take care of you. Take good care of you.
Yeah, that's good. Have you ever had it where you just felt like you didn't want to do the things every year?
Oh, I tell you what, the first year that we bought M&K Takeouts restaurant, we bought it in the fall. And that Christmas, literally, it wasn't that I didn't want to. I simply couldn't. There was no way. We got the tree up in the living room. We got lights on it. And that was the end. There was not one ornament on that tree until someone would give me the gift of an ornament that year. And I would walk over and put it on my sad little tree. And then at Christmas time, we gave everybody visors that had their name on it just for their gift for the staff. We put all the visors in the tree. So for a while, we had our staff's name in the tree. But there will come times when you either can't. There was another year I had ordered gifts. I usually gave gifts to, everybody in my sphere of influence. I would buy something or make something for them all. I mean, it was like 50 gals that I would give gifts to every year. And one year they just didn't come. I ordered them and they didn't come. And it was, getting close and they didn't come. And it was just a year. I just said when we got together for our usual thing, I just said out loud, I just said, you know what? I am a giver. I love to give, but this year I guess I get to receive, and that's just how it's going to be. So I think just be comfortable with where God has you this year, any year. Just kind of relax into it and just say, this is how God has me this year.
Yes, I love that, because I think so many times there's guilt that we carry because we want it. We just want it to be okay.
Yes.
We want to please everyone. And sometimes we just have to be okay with it being how, like you said, Jesus had it for you this year.
Yes. And I love that.
Now, you talked about a restaurant. So I know you've owned businesses before. And I want to know how because one of your businesses was big, right? Wasn't it? Like square footage, what was it?
12,000 square feet. It was a 12 department retail store. Yeah, it was very big.
Yeah. So you had the restaurant, you had to decorate that, but how did you get that decorated?
Okay, so the restaurant was much smaller. Okay. And that was easy. Decorating the restaurant was easy, but the store was a huge task in it to figure out how to actually get it done. We would usually start and it would take 3 to 4 weeks to decorate the store and get all the Christmas down and into the aisles. So I always say retail stores breathe. So during the non-holiday season, you have your shelves filled with other things. And during the holiday season, all of those other things have to fit into less space to make space for all of this holiday stuff, rows of holiday stuff, right? So it was a complete relay. But what we figured out was over time, and you can apply this part of it to your own home decor, is that when you start with an empty container, an empty box, whatever it is you use, you do one segment at a time. And then, so for example, you might take down all of your shelf stuff at once that you're going to replace with Christmas stuff. Just take down all of your shelf displays, put that into the new box, empty the old box up, empty the Christmas box up onto your shelf displays. So you would have that all be one thing. So when I'm changing out my the over the fireplace, when I'm changing out the front entry buffet area that I have decorated, whatever, when I'm changing out those, I put everything that I took off of them into one container or box. And then I empty this next box and I put those things up. So I have one box ahead all the time. And then you're bringing that next box in. So you have an empty container. Always you have an empty container for the next set of things you're going to do. And just make sure to label those. And what I suggest is labeling them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And then just having a notepad on which you keep what you have in each of those. So was empty, now shelf toppers, like that. Was shelf toppers, now small framed art. Okay, so then you can go like that. And once we had that system in place, so we had all of the different types of things together, then we could do the whole store. And one year we did it in less than 3 days. That was amazing. And it went from 3 weeks to 3 days. So this is something you can employ yourself. The key is to have the like things, to process the like things together, or one room at a time, however it works for you.
Yeah, that is really having the system in place really does make a
That's
difference.
the key. Mm-hmm.
So I have a question. When you're so busy with a business and how do you stop yourself from getting fast food on the way home? And, in the busy season, we want to try to stay to our healthy eating as much as possible. I mean, we're going to have treats and everything, and that's good. But boy, that was one thing that I've struggled with in the past, during the holidays especially. How do you make it home to eat dinner at home?
So this strategy, this will have to be our last one, but this strategy I call your fast 5 meals. And what you do is you write down your meals, 5 meals that you can put together quickly that your family will eat. That's the key. Your family has to be willing to eat them. And then you have to keep on hand the ingredients for that meal. So as soon as you use up the ingredients for that meal, instantly you buy them again the next time you're at the store. You keep all the ingredients on hand. And then what the reason we don't, because actually going through the drive-thru is not faster than making a quick fix meal at home. It's really not. It costs money. It's a lot of times they get your meal wrong, and there's the frustration of that. There's the financial hit. There's the time hit. Sometimes you have to go out and get it or pay Uber Eats or something, which is really expensive. So if you just have these ingredients at home, the reason we don't do it at home is because we aren't sure we have the ingredients, or we aren't sure what to make. So if you just always have the ingredients for these fast 5 on hand, you will get yourself to do it, because you'll know it's faster. And while that's microwaving, I can do that other thing. Or while that's cooking, I can do this other thing. So you'll love it.
That is a great idea. Well, it's been great. I've been watching for questions. We haven't had any, but I know that as this continues to go, we can have those in the comments there. But thank you for sharing your tips for reducing stress and finding more peace and joy in the holidays.
Absolutely. We'll see you all in the next session. Bye-bye.